What's happening, people? Harry Scarfe here, football content creator, YouTuber and football writer with your Tottenham news video. Welcome back to the channel, stepping in for Chris Cowlin and Craig Dearman today. So thank you very much for coming in. If you're new, please do like and subscribe. So if you're unfamiliar with how this works, how we're going to do it is I'm going to read an article or two, go into a couple of headlines, and we'll really dissect them. We're not going to focus on a lot of news today because it is the weekend. There's never as much, and the main focus is going to be around Morgan Gibbs White. Surprise, surprise. So I want to read you an article from The Guardian very late Saturday night. So it says that Tottenham stunned is the headline as Morgan Gibbs White signs new deal to stay at Nottingham Forest. And then below that, you've got midfielder Penn's 3-year contract extension, and Gibbs White was a key target for Spurs in the window. It was written by Mark Dobson from The Guardian at about 11:10 Saturday night. So it starts off with Tottenham have been handed a huge blow after their summer transfer target Morgan Gibbs White signs a new 3-year contract at Nottingham Forest. The 25-year-old was expected to make a £60 million move to Spurs earlier this month after they apparently triggered a release clause. However, Forest reacted furiously to the news and threatened legal action over an alleged illegal approach for the player. Forest also prepared a complaint to the Premier League, arguing that Spurs' conduct surrounding the proposed transfer was simply inappropriate. The two-time European champions consulted lawyers before they believed Spurs did not have the permission to speak with Gibbs White, and also felt there had been a breach in confidentiality reading the release clause in the England man's contract. Gibbs White scored 7 goals and added 8 assists in 34 league games last season to help Forest finish 7th and qualify for Europe. He had been linked with Spurs and Manchester City. However, late on Saturday night, it was announced the midfielder had signed a new deal with Forest, which keeps him at the City ground until 2028. The Forest owner, Evanino Mariakis, said Morgan is a special player, not just in terms of talent, but character and mentality. He represents what we want to do at this football club and what we want to be. He's a winner, talented, ambitious, fearless and proud. There is significant interest from various clubs that we were determined to build our future with Morgan at the heart of it. I promised our fans we would not only compete but grow stronger and stronger every season. Today is another big step in that journey. Speaking after his signing his new deal, Gibbs White told the club official website, "I felt at home at Forest from the moment I arrived. The support from the fans, my teammates and everyone around the club has been unbelievable. I believe in what we're building here and the backing of Mr. Mariakis and the enormous ambition he has. I want to be part of something special. I'm excited for what's to come." So that is, one of the headlines, or one of the articles, I should say, that I wanted to read you. I just find it frustrating, the whole situation, because I think we've wasted a lot of time on the situation. You've got to, I think, respect Gibbs White's choice, but I would question his ambition. I question his intention. He clearly has no intent or ambition to play Champions League football. I'm sure the Forest project is exciting, and Mariakis is a bit of a bully that will probably convince you and get you on side, but I just think the player didn't do anything to force the move, wants to stay at Forest. It's frustrating. How much more Tottenham and Daniel Levy could have done, I think, remains to be seen, because we don't know what went on behind the scenes. We haven't been able to secure the player, so we have to take some responsibility for that. But I don't think a lot of it is on the club. One more article I do want to read you before we get into it in a little bit more detail. So it's from the Daily Mail. Headline is Morgan Gibbs White's Forest U-turn bombshell. Nottingham Forest star to sign new deal, or signs new deal, should I say, in hammer blow to Tottenham's pursuit of England star. Morgan Gibbs White has performed a dramatic U-turn on his Nottingham Forest future, with the English midfielder signing a new deal at the City ground. The playmaker was subject to a £60 million bid for Tottenham earlier this month after the North London club thought they had activated the release clause in his contract. But the move was halted dramatically when Forest threatened to report Spurs to the Premier League for an alleged illegal approach. Now Gibbs White has put an end to the speculation over his future and has penned a new deal with Forest until the summer of 2028. Mailsport learned in January that Gibbs White was resisting Forest's attempts to offer him a new deal that would at least have doubled his previous £60,000 a week salary. He was keen on joining Tottenham until now, after being offered a record deal by Forest, described as a statement of intent from owner Mariakis in a club statement via X. Goes on to say Gibbs White joined Forest in 2022 from Wolves for a club record transfer fee of £25 million, with another £17 million in potential add-ons. He has since made 118 appearances, scoring 18 goals and providing 28 assists in all competitions. Last season, Gibbs White netted 7 times and provided 10 assists from Forest as they marched to a strong 7th place finish, securing the spot in the UEFA Europa Conference League. Crystal Palace qualified for Europa League by winning the FA Cup last term, only to be excluded from it after an alleged breach of UEFA regulations relating to multi-club ownership. Where the decision to beat it upheld, Forest would take their place in the Europa League, with Palace dropping into the Conference League. And Gibbs White recently linked up with his Forest teammates in Portugal after missing the start of pre-season training camp due to personal reasons. Gibbs White's partner, Brittany De Villiers, posted to social media last Sunday to share that she was having complications with her pregnancy. She described how she struggled with a high-risk pregnancy from a hospital bed. The couple have a young son together. It's understood that throughout the transfer saga, the midfielder showed an exemplary attitude, which continued as he returned to duty on July the 14th. Gibbs White played the first half of Forest pre-season friendly against Chesterfield on July the 19th and was given a warm reception by supporters. He responded with his own gesture of gratitude. Forest have already lost one of their key attacking players this summer after Ante Elanga was sold to Newcastle for £55 million. The club still hope Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's out of contract in the summer, will sign a new deal. While Forest are interested in Aston Villa midfielder Jacob Ramsey, Manchester City's James McAtee, and Swiss attacker Nana Dye, who plays for Italian club Bologna. So that is the other article that I did want to read you. And the Sun say that Morgan Gibbs White is understood to have been so impressed by Mariaka's enthusiasm and vision for Forest's future that he agreed not to pursue a transfer to Tottenham. So there you go. There are some headlines. Those are my opinions. I think Tottenham have absolutely wasted their time. It's a real shame. Not the end of the world in terms of we've got a lot of depth and quality in the 10 role, but it is the end of the world in terms at the same time in terms of the time we wasted on this and the fact that our whole transfer window halted, which is poor of the club. We should have kept business going in the background. I get you can't spend 100 million here, there, and everywhere if you don't know if a £60 million move or more is going through. I totally do understand and respect that, but it felt like it might not be the case because a lot goes on behind the scenes. That's important to note. It felt like our transfer window come to a close, and we've got a lot to do. For me, we've got to sign a 6, we've got to sign fullback cover rather. We've got probably a little bit more to do in attacking positions. Probably got to move play. You've got a lot of outgoings as well. But that is your daily Tottenham news. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, Chris Callan, for this opportunity. Follow me at HarryScarfe22 across all socials. Also have my YouTube channel, Harry Scarfe, which contains my very own Spurs podcast too, called the Scarfe Spurs podcast.